if Kingmil gets famous, y'all niggas not gonna be with Kingmil once he gets famous, bro. Understand that shit. He not gonna feed y'all.
What's good, doers? You know what it is. You know it isn't your boy. Got back with another reaction video. Before we get into this, you know what to do. Turn me up, lock with us on Kick and Twitch. You know how to do with us, you and both. We're just going to talk about the mess that's going on in the underground right now. We're going to start with Stunmick, though. Stunmick art me on 4/21/2024, April 21st, 2024. Took me this long to come out because I was so scared of him and what he could do to me. But now that it's out and he knows, plus my friends are supportive, I feel safe enough to do this. He DM'd me to come play pool, and I said okay because I saw we had a lot of mutuals. I thought it would be safe. So I went, and then he offered me weed, and I smoked way too much. I was really anxious, and I told him I'm really high and anxious. I don't smoke very often, and he just ignored it. And then he asked me to kiss. I said yes. Then I did not want to go to his basement, so I said his bed, and then he immediately wanted to have sex, and I said no. I don't want to have sex. I don't really know you. And he asked me like 3 more times after, and I kept saying no very explicitly every time. Then he put his finger in my mouth and said, "Do you want this baby?" I said, okay, because I thought he was going to finger me, but then he stuck his dick in me so fast I couldn't react. See, that part right there is just a little mixy to me, you know, because then it gets very confusing. It's like, then he put his fingers in my mouth and said, "Do you want this baby?" You know, that's a real sexual act. Whatever happened in that moment, specifically, not really looking to get too in detail because that's between them. It's like, that's sort of consensual to the moment. Now, the whole stuck his finger in my mouth to sticking his dick in me thing, like, there's a whole situation that was like left out there. I'm hoping he didn't just, you know, rip through her jeans or pants or whatever she had, whatever situation she had going on. So it was like, it just went from 0 to 100. I said okay because I thought he was going to finger me, but then he stuck his in me so fast I couldn't react. No protection was used, which was my first thing I noticed, and the anxiety from the marijuana and not understanding what was happening. That was when I went into shock and autopilot and was disassociating for a long time. He told me to open my mouth and he spit in it and called me a good girl. I felt so sick and wanted to beg him to stop, but I went completely nonverbal. I remember him choking me so hard that I felt like I almost lost consciousness at one point. When I felt more clear-headed, I felt so much pain inside me. He kept asking me what he was doing and what I liked and kept having to take it out and spit on it because it was so dry. I couldn't even respond to him. I thought the only thing I could do at this point was to give in. I remember I was so disgusted kissing him, I kept trying to avoid it by kissing his neck instead and I gave him a hickey. By then I was so disgusted, I told him to stop because 1, I wasn't turned on at all, so it hurt so bad. 2, I didn't want it and I never wanted it. I explicitly told him I didn't want to have sex before all of this. He did stop after I told him to stop, but he asked me 10 more times. I'll say this. It's super unfortunate women are put in these situations, you know, especially young women. Like, things like this should never occur. Men have to do a better job at reading the room. Like, a girl can be comfortable with you and, you know, be to an extent interested, but it's not too often you're going to link a girl and she's just going to, you know what I mean, give it up just like that. You know what I'm saying? Some of them need to be a little bit more comfortable than that. The situation is still a little confusing because when you get to like, I wasn't turned on, he was sticking, you're letting him stick a finger in your mouth and it gets all mixy and just get into all that. I'm not about to dissect their intercourse. You know, it's just fucking weird. But like, as a man, you should always be able to read the room. And some advice from my nephews out there, you know what I'm saying? Let the woman take it there. Because if she really wants to, she will. He asked me 10 more times afterwards to keep having sex that I got to the point where I was almost yelling no. In response, he laughed at me. And then he said, "Can you at least?" When you get to talking like this, what I will say is, if you know, you know, there are a lot of situations like that. That is too real of a situation. You know what I mean? Like, the second he said, "Can you do this at least?" I knew off rip something very weird occurred. After all of this, I wanted to leave so bad, but my friend letting me stay was asleep and I didn't know the address, and it was also my first night in New York and it was really early, so I had to sleep there. I tried to call them multiple times. I was so high that the whole thing felt like a nightmare. Before all of this, he promised me things like how I could model for his brand and he would help me get out there, and even said he would take me somewhere and buy me something nice, etc. And I was so desperate for this opportunity he presented that I told myself it didn't bother me and nothing happened. I also did not want to I didn't want to deal with feeling so powerless in a situation like that. I didn't want to accept that I was, and I also didn't fully realize that at the time that I was and was doubting and blaming myself heavily so afterwards. I also didn't fully realize at the time that I was doubting and blaming myself heavily. So afterwards, he would flirt with me over text and I would flirt back. This exchange lasted about 10 hours on and off throughout the day. But by the end of it, this all happened within 24 hours. I finally realized that the way this man manipulated me into this felt so natural that I didn't even realize what happened to me until several hours later, and I completely cut him off and blocked him on social media. Then on 4/22, I was accompanied by some strangers to the nearest hospital for a kit. Hospital records and photos, lab tests, boom, 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 boom. Like I said before, man, it seems to me like this girl, you know, was a little influenced by Stunmick and his clout, pulled up to the crib, might have had a little bit of feelings for him. Like I said, fellas, y'all need to be able to read the room and understand that you can't just score. You understand that you're not going to score on the first night. You know what I'm saying? That's just some weirdo shit. You need to be able to control yourself. Unfortunately, Stunmick made this girl feel uncomfortable and took things to an extent that she was not ready for. And he's a creep for that. And it doesn't help with videos like this on the internet.
16, nigga, I don't give a fuck. The fuck? I'm 19. I know niggas that are 16, 17, nigga. I'm still going dick on them, bro. What the fuck?
See, people need to understand that, like, and that's another thing too, like, it's like people know that they have influence and they use their influence to tell people like, yo, I can do this, I can do that for you. Like, that's just some real predatory creep shit, you know? Using your influence to draw women in and then, you know, taking advantage of a situation. That ruins your credibility. It leaves you to be a creep. And situations like this pop out to your demise. So it's like, but Stunmick responds and he has his side of the story. You know, there's always two sides of a story. So I'm definitely going to get into that too. Clearing up this entire accusation now. Quinn accused me as a serial and was persistent on running the fade. He pulled up, we fought, and up after I won, we talked. I showed all my proof, and he said he'd contacted Clear and proved my innocence. Now it's not his priority, and he deactivated. So boom. He goes, yo, it's no word from your homegirl yet. She not looking to talk to y'all right now. This is going to take longer than expected. Or is there any sort of statement from her that is proof of word for word what went down? I just thought everyone was going to stay quiet until we get to the bottom of this as a whole, but I'm guessing not. I'm staying quiet besides the trolls on Twitter, but I'm trying to ignore that right now. What happened. All we can do is try to get to the bottom of this now. And with how people be politicking, I don't want to feed into their bullshit. Not any more than I already did, at least. I'm just confused. I'm seeing you still calling stunt online to the trolls and everything is still up when we all agreed on there's still some sort of confusion and we need to get to the bottom of it. And now I'm feeling disrespected because I gave you and your friend my respect and I was open and welcoming, but this shit is still going on and I didn't even hear no word from none of y'all. She doesn't need to talk to me or stunt. I just want to know what is her side of the story, word for word, whether you come back to my crib and call her and ask what happened like I'm not there. Some sort of solution needs to be figured out and it needs to be handled because this isn't nothing small. And where is the other page of the form? I know this seriously, y'all, but to me, this is not top priority considering that and a batch of others is happening. I ain't even in town right now because my pops is in the hospital. So till then, I'm going to just deactivate my Twitter to get away from all that shit. And for the record, I never said that I believe he's innocent. I still believe something happened, which is why I chose to run the fade. No, after the fade, everyone as a whole agreed to all coming together and getting to the bottom of the confusion when we were outside of the house. I never said he was innocent. I understand you're going through your own stuff, but that's just not fair. If you can't do it and help one of your friends, gotta help. I'd like to get the other page of the form as well. But you made it priority to get your fade and I respected it. But now that I'm making it top priority to get to the bottom of everything, it's not top priority. If you don't want to handle it, put me in contact with someone that will. I just want to know what happened from her side that night, word for word. And no results came back. Those 2 pages I gave you before is all I got on hand at the moment. And kids could take months to get back. Wait, this whole time I thought the paper stated she was assaulted. That's what you said in the house. But now I'm reading the paper. It was just submitted without any results back. And I'm not saying he's innocent, but because she filed for a rape kit. Nothing came back yet. Does that even give anyone the right to call him or at that a serial with no other allegations? And even this one that hasn't even been fully proven yet, but y'all still online calling him a rape. The fade was respected off the fact that you said your friend was hurt and I was okay with that, but still calling him a rapist after we still haven't gotten to the bottom of everything is so immature. And on top of that, now it's not priority to get to the bottom of it. One party can't solve a problem, especially when it's two parties involved. So you let me know what you and your friends want to do. So this is his response to those 2 pages I gave you before is all I got on hand at the moment. And rape could take months to get back. Stunmick or whoever goes, and the fact that all you have to say is this to everything I said, can you put me in contact with someone? It just seems like you cared more about the fade than solving the actual problem. It's just the same to claim I'm a serial is with no evidence. Ask for a fade, lose, then deactivate, and say it'll take months to come back to it. June 26, 2024. So he dissects everything that she had to say in her statement. When she said he offered me weed and I smoked way too much, I was really anxious and I told him I'm really high and anxious and I don't smoke very often, and he just ignored it. Then he asked me, whatever. She claims I ignored that she said she was high, which isn't true. I stopped offering any weed completely and asked if she was okay. She also says right after I asked her to kiss, then said let's go to the basement or my bedroom, which also is untrue. We had already been in the basement. Before we even smoked, I showed her my printer. We even went through my roommate's room, waking him up because we were giggling and being loud. She wanted the rehab underwear. All right. So he's downstairs showing her around. It's down the 3rd. This is April 21st. He has proof as well, 5:29 a.m. All right. After getting the underwear from the basement, we were chilling on my couch, and I even had a video of me and her playing with her vape. I never once asked multiple times to fuck. Okay, so when she was talking about, no, I don't want to have, I don't really know you, and he asked me like 3 more times after, and I kept saying no very explicitly every time. Then he put his fingers in my mouth and said, do you want this baby? I said okay, because I thought he was going to finger me, but then he stuck it in me so fast I couldn't react. No protection was used. Okay, so his statement to that was, she also claims I never asked her for consent and that I choked her. I never choked her, and we both agreed and said yes. Only had intercourse for no longer than 2 minutes until she said, let's stop. And I instantly stopped. She mentioned she just feels asexual, and we spoke on that for a bit. So he doesn't address how he randomly got inside of her pants. Didn't address anything about the process of the clothes coming off or anything like that. So that just gives me weird, really, really, really weird vibes. Like if he's trying to denounce everything that's going on, okay, cool. But like that was like a, like a detrimental moment that you needed to like clear up. Because how did you guys go from A to Z that fast? Finger in the mouth to you randomly sticking your shit in her. He's saying that they both agreed. We both agreed and said yes, and only had intercourse for no longer than 2 minutes until she said, let's stop. So he's saying that she said yes, and they agreed for at least for whatever. And she's saying that he went from sticking his finger in her mouth to sticking his dick in her. That's what I'm getting from both of them. Okay, so my room had no door, so I even remember us getting a curtain and hanging it up on my door frame with tape. Just being goofy, I did not berate her by asking to. Never asked her again after she said no as well. We talked about random bullshit for a couple minutes. Then she mentioned she had to go because her friend had a pregnancy scare, so I copped her an Uber. We both said bye with no problem at all. We both were talking about our dreams. All right. I slept so good. Hey, beautiful. I'm up as fuck. Took a perk. Did you dream? Yes, I forgot it though, but it was intense. I'm eating instant ramen. Why are you the same as me? This is getting scary. Okay. Yes, I forgot it though, but it was intense. Good intense or bad? Bad. I like nightmares though. It's still better than my usual life. Oh, God. Okay, here just chatting. Nothing seemed wrong to me or anything seemed up. Okay, but I feel like she addressed that, She said she spoke to him for a little bit after like 10 hours before she completely cut things off. And was like, so she already addressed that part for sure. She also claimed I promised her things like model for my brand and take her somewhere nice and buy her things, but I never gassed up any of that or did all our messages show it. I only said she could go far with her drawings and tattoos. Here's when we linked that night and texting morning after. Okay, Allison, 3:05 a.m. I mean, bro, what are you doing leaving the crib in New York City, not knowing where you're going or where you're at 3 o'clock in the morning? Let's start with that. fellas, you know what I mean? I already barked at the fellas. Fellas, y'all gotta be able to read the room. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be able to understand when a woman is comfortable, and that's that. Ladies, y'all gotta be able to understand. Y'all gotta be able to read the room too. Where are you going at 3 o'clock in the morning? Why are you linking some boy you know? Like, you gotta be able to read the room too, respectfully. I'll just leave it there. Hello, on the way, babe. Big black truck. All right, he got big black truck money. You know what I'm saying? But he doesn't have a door in his room. He's a curtain. And he's taking perks. Man, y'all little niggas got this shit fucked up, bro. Oh, God. Thank you again, of course. Did you get an XL? This is massive. Yup, OMG, you're so sweet. I don't really be caring. Be comfy. Where you at? Come in. All right. So get home safe. I'll get this afterwards. She sent him the hickey. You know what I mean? This is typical stuff. You know what I'm saying? You show shorty that she left the hickey. This is casual. You know? This casually happens. You know what I'm saying? OMG, sorry. LOL. More than okay with it. I'm home. More than okay with it. She hearts it. I don't know, man. Hello, I'm so mad. Our crib's hot water all fucked up. So I got to take an ice cold ass shower. Man, what the fuck? You got Uber XLs and all this other shit, but you got fucked up water in your house and no door? Man, y'all niggas got this shit backwards, bro. On God. On God, bro. Get your cloud up, though, man. Get your cloud up. Look, this whole situation as a whole is just mixy, bro. Y'all need to take into consideration what y'all are doing at the moment, bro. Be more aware of what you guys are getting yourselves into. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, because it's like, Stunmick, you got a platform, bro. Let this be your lesson to not be running around with these fans, you know? And ladies, it's unfortunate that there's guys out there like Stunmick who are just going to take advantage of their influence and, you know, prey on fans and do shit. And you guys are just looking for opportunities and everybody's looking for a way to come up. I understand all that, but it's like, man, unfortunately for Stunmick, you're going to have to take a little bit of a seat and you're going to have to sit in the hot seat because at the end of the day, you 100% took advantage of your influence. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you're going to have to hold the L, my boy. Really that. Your boy A-God back with another reaction video. Before you get out of here, turn me up. Lock in with us on Kick and Twitch. You know how to do it as you are in both. Peace.
Not for the cause, nigga. Just if Kingmil gets famous, y'all niggas not gonna be with Kingmil once he gets famous, bro. Understand that shit. He not gonna feed y'all.